Hello, good evening, and welcome to your League One Ontario Men's Premier Division Game of the Week, streamed, of course, exclusively on the official League One Ontario YouTube channel. Welcome to a bright and hot Ron Joyce Stadium on the grounds of McMaster University here in Hamilton. Our hosts today, Hamilton FC, come into the game in 15th place, having displayed frustratingly inconsistent form over the season thus far. Really unable to put together a run of positive results. Having said that, there is a glimmer of hope, perhaps, in the fact that 3 of the 5 losses they've had on the season so far have only come via 1 goal, and late ones at that. So perhaps a turning of the corner with some more consistent mental mental acuity from the Hamilton team will see them kind of press on and really start to put together a strong run of results. Their visitors, Windsor City, have had a similar kind of inconsistency in the season thus far. They actually come into the game in 13th. In May, there was a run of 3 losses, which I'm sure would have stung them, but they bounced back undefeated thus far in the month of June, including an impressive 2-1 win over the high-flying Simcoe County Rovers in their last game, led in that one by Jonathan Agapito with 2 goals, and actually earned him the Player of the Week honors. So something to keep an eye out for today. This is certainly a game with ramifications and interest for next season as League One Ontario moves to a 2-division, 2-tiered system. I can I'm sure talk about that as the details therein as we go on in terms of who is where and what the points all mean. But suffice to say that both of these teams do still have something to play for, both this season and next. So just before we kick off, I'll run through our starting lineups for you numerically. Hamilton United, all in grey, will be kicking from left to right on your screen. As I say, in numerical order, we've got number 1, Ethan Kagal. He's your goalkeeper. Number 5, Tyler Curtis. Number 7, Elton Neuma. Number 11, Jamu Iluya. Number 15, Adam Parker. Number 16, Jacob Gaya. Number 20, Muaz Saleh. Number 21, Kyle Degelman. Number 22, Abbas Ajibade. Number 23 will be Alban Bocci. Number 24, Anthony Caceres. And your starting lineup for Windsor City, all in white, dressed, kicking from right to left in this half. Number 1, your goalkeeper is Dante Carraro. Number 3 will be Riley Durkulic. Number 4, Gianfranco Faccineri. Number 5 will be Bastian Aguilera. He's the captain for the day. 6 is Nathaniel Clemmings. 7 is Dylan Sato. Number 8 will be Andriy Amanov. Number 9, Gianni Ferri. Number 10, the aforementioned Jonathan Agapito. Number 11, Owen Antoniuk. And number 18, Braden Stefanovic. So the early knockings of the game as we see how our teams shape up and how the plans that they have in place, in possession, out of possession, how they survive contact with the enemy, so to speak. And as the players get up to the pace of the game, start working things out for themselves, and we see things develop. The most exciting time of any game, of course. So a lofted ball forward from Ajibade, looking for his captain, Eluya. Eluya actually one of the leading lights for Hamilton thus far this season, with 2 goals on the season and a Team of the Week appearance. So certainly one to keep an eye out for up top there. Faccineri with that long ball over the top down the channel, but rolling through to the grateful Kagalj. Parker will put that one down the line. A good battle there from Antoniuk, winning out. And now Stevanovic and Aguilera not quite able to smuggle that one through, but Windsor go again. Similar route. Fleming's hustling, coming away with the ball. Carraro just plays it simply up to Dukalic, who'll have the time to stride forward a few yards, see what his passing options are. And it's neatly back from Ferry. Now Aguilera will play this one wide. Was looking perhaps for the run of Nathaniel Clemmings, but the pass a touch awry. Luya with several white shirts around him, but able to smuggle that ball clear for Numa, another of the top scorers on the Hamilton team. Oh, a lovely little reverse ball for Gaya to chase, but caught perhaps on his heels a little bit, the Hamilton man. But that's nice work from Caceres on the far side there. So it does look like Windsor has kind of set up in a nominal 4-3-3, but we'll see how much that shifts and changes as players move around, wanting to get a touch on the ball with Antonio, I'm sure, given a little bit of a license. We know that Windsor are allowed to play. The head coach, Walter Cosenza, trusts his team, trusts his players to work things out. That's a nice wee ball for Caceres to chase into that channel, but marshaled well by Amonov. And quickly back the other way for Windsor. Aguilera choosing to consolidate field position. Antonio clearly wanting to be the one to pull the strings and compose things from deep. So we'll see whether that is allowed to continue. That is a foul. Called a foul by Numa on Clemmings. As Windsor get a start quickly. I can actually also introduce your officiating staff today. Your referee will be Mahbub Gulastani, actually, who, if you go to the League One Ontario website, has a really great article about officiating at this stage, at this level. Not written by him, but an interview with him. So certainly worth bearing in mind, given the great work that officiants do across the board here. Your assistant referee number 1 will be Vasil Djik. Kevin Kim, assistant referee number 2, and your fourth official will be Karim Nosia, as Windsor get us underway again. And Amonov racing down that line. A great ball in. Kind of evaded everybody, found a seam that nobody really knew was there, fell to Stevanovic. But a Hamilton FC defender, I believe it was Bocci, in attendance, denied a clean strike for the Windsor FC youngster. And so it's always interesting to see how these teams line up at the set pieces. We've got 2 coming short, perhaps dragging their men away from that clump of players in the middle. That one went to the near post. And now perhaps we'll just see them stay. This one lofted a little bit more all the way to the back post. Dukalic was looking to kind of get that one back across, but beaten clear. Fleming's playing this one out for Antoniuk. Aguilera, though, not quite able to make it to that pass, but they keep that one moving, and now Iluya able to stride clear Doesn't have many options. Been able to keep it alive. Back to Ajibade. Curtis spreads that one around wide. Ajibade in a wee pocket of space, but deciding not to take that one on. Newman now finds Ajibade again. Nothing really in the middle for Hamilton. They've kind of been having to go wide. Nobody really in that pocket of space in front of the defensive line with Iluya sort of looking to press against that tension. When Parker with a ball lofted over the top for Caceres to chase, it's actually a really beautiful pass. Now what can Caceres conjure here? Plays this one back for Bocci. Charged down by the Windsor defense. Ajibade now. Neat little ball inside for Numa, who must be shaping up to shoot. Looked like he was. The touch got away from him, and now Windsor spring the other way through Stevanovic. But Ajibade does terrifically to eat that ground up and put that challenge in. Oh, well left from Caceres. That's a neat piece of deception to allow that ball to continue just finding its way out of play. Directly appreciated by Dagelman on that far side, the fullback behind Caceres. Hamilton, for their part, in terms of their shape, such as the numbers mean anything, look like they'll be setting up in something close to a 4-2-3-1. Bocci and Ajibade being the two sitting defenders, where Stefanovic thought he'd taken that away from Parker, but a referee deciding otherwise, blowing that play dead. Salah wants Parker to take the line. And he'll slide that one through for Gea, but Facineri was alive to it, had read that story already. Oh, and the attempted flick from Agapito not working out this time around, but that ball is still alive. Well read. And Agapito actually doing terrifically to chase that one down and force a yellow card challenge out of the Hamilton man. Tyler Curtis receiving that one, so the centre back for Hamilton in trouble early in just the 11th minute with a yellow card. I'm sure that'll be something that the Windsor bench will highlight as a potential entry route for the team. That's very smart work from Agapito to stay alive to the fact that the ball had not actually found its way out of play. As this one is lofted over for Stefanovic, he's actually able to get the ball. And that one fell beautifully into the path for Dylan Sato, but the Windsor midfielder perhaps just rushed himself a little bit. Maybe didn't even expect it to make it over there. And ended up ballooning that one over the crossbar. A golden opportunity for Windsor to take an early lead. Not only a yellow card for Hamilton centre-back, but the chance there for an early goal spurned at this opportunity by Dylan Sato. And we'll see whether that'll come back to bite them as Iluya looks to get around Facineri. Does well to maintain body position. Aguilera just keeps it simple. Plays that one all back for Carrero. Strong work from Ferry to keep that one. Stefanovic now has Clemmings ahead of him. Aguilera has a few options now. Chooses Stefanovic. He'll just play this one over for Durkalic, switch this play, try and find some space on the other side of the field. Oh, and that's a lovely lofted ball for Sato. Stefanovic has made it into the middle. There's actually a few options for the winger, but well defended by Curtis to block that one away. But now Aguilera lost this one again. Antoniuk is in attendance, but well read by Kagalj, quickly off his line to pluck that one from the sky and deny Windsor City any further opportunities. Perhaps I'll take this brief potential break in play, but actually we look like we're heading away here. That one breaks down. And Caceres and Gay combine well, but Aguilera there in attendance to halt that break the other way. But I'll take this opportunity to thank our sponsors for this afternoon's broadcast. Is CIBC, a proud partner of League One. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. Certainly important on a day like today. Degree, inspiring the confidence to move. Another important aspect on a day like today. It's going to be pretty hot down there. And then Macron, work hard, play harder. So that one is put forward for Aluya, who took it to the outside. Maybe actually wanted to take his first touch inside, but kept it alive. Ooh, a lovely wee dink over for his for Gea, but who just kind of ran out of space there. Protesting with this near side assistant referee, but not much of a leg to stand on. It did appear to this correspondent that the ball had crossed the line. Maybe lost his bearings a touch there. Neatly breaking the lines for Antoniuk, who wanted to turn that one quickly, but only ran into Ajibade. Now that one from Bocci for Numa was very loose. And Facineri able to find Antoniuk again. Stefanovic back into the path of Antoniuk. Took a wee tumble, but thankfully wasn't under too much pressure. Able to find his feet again. Agapito turning inside. Takes the shot on. A good effort, but well met by Kagalj. And that'll be heartening for Windsor too. They certainly carried the game for much of this first half. In the first 16 minutes or so, they've really been the ones crafting opportunities, both from set pieces. So we saw that one that fell to Sato, and then indeed open play. As their number 10 was able to find the space in a dangerous position at the top of the box and let loose a shot. It was met by Kagalj, but not well handled. Perhaps he was just looking to just beat this out. It was an awkward one that kind of rasped in low and bounced just in front of the keeper. Again, Parker is urged to take the wing, both by the verbal instructions from his teammate and indeed the ball that's played for him. He's maybe a touch tentative early on. And that might be stymieing the forward advance for Hamilton down this side, as Numa maybe not quite the chalk on the boots winger that they want on that side. It's actually well read by Sato to get in ahead of that and keep that one alive, but Hamilton still looked to get it away. But do win a throw in on that far side for their troubles. Oh, and Caceres is down for a second here. Looks like he may have just had the wind taken out of his sails a touch in that last play. Sure, a few pumps of the bellows, so to speak, and he'll be back on his feet in no time. As mentioned, it is a hot one out here today. Well, remains to be seen. I'm not too sure about the plans for a water break, but if that were to occur, it would be in around 7 minutes or so. As Windsor come right back the other way following that throw, and Parker looking to race out here and deny this option, but Stefanovic chooses to bring this one out for Antoniuk. Oh, and that's a delightful wee lofted ball looking for Agapito. But Kagalj just puts this one right down the other end for Iluya. Battling well for Faccinieri. He does have the ball. Clemmings in attendance too. And Iluya is given a free kick by the referee Gulastani in a very dangerous position. Perhaps in the referee's opinion, the offending behavior from Faccinieri started there around the 20-yard mark and continued into the penalty area. So it is where the foul starts. And Caceres will stand over this. This is at a very tempting position to where they are now. You've actually got a couple of options. We'll see what side of the goal Carrara wants to cover. So he's covering that far side. Now Caceres can either look for that pocket of grey shirts, which is what he's gone for here. It's a great ball over. Iluya looked to have gotten his head to it, but was maybe a little bit low when it came by, and it sort of just spun off somewhat harmlessly, but a ball there to attack for Caceres. And Hamilton FC gleefully accepted that invitation. Dukalic finding Ferry. We've seen already that the Windsor City number 9 certainly seems to be acting as a focal point of sorts. They really want to, or maybe it's not a regular route through, but he's certainly adept with his back to the goal. They can use him as someone to play balls into, and that one, just behind Antonio. But they can play balls into him, and he seems very comfortable controlling and laying off for supporting teammates around him. Most likely, I guess, the Agapito and Antoniuk, the two more advanced midfielders, while Stefanovic and Sato stay wide. Parker looking for Iluya, but beautifully read by Faccinieri, who just very calmly steps in. Finds himself with nowhere really to go, but Windsor working her over. That's a loose touch from Aguilera, but he gets away from it and wins the free kick in the middle under the attentions of Alban Bocci. Has Amonov, as mentioned, on that far side, which is where that ball ends up. Amonov and Sato combining. Antoniuk now does have Clemmings and Stefanovic on this near side. Into Amonov, who continued his run from right back all the way to that left wing. He's just roaming, looking for the space, trying to get involved. But this one now, Caceres is able to break, and if he'd had his head up, he could have noticed that the space that Amonov had departed was available, and Aluya actually was maybe looking to make that run, but Caceres tried to force it the other way. Djokovic lofting that one over, but somewhat more in hope than anything else. Oh, Aluya actually not giving up on that one, allowing the ball holding up in the turf a touch. Seemed to catch Riley Dukalic out, as I think indeed this is our opportunity for a water break. The 24th minute. So perhaps this is the opportunity to talk a little bit about the grand plans for next season that I had alluded to earlier in the season that both of these teams are playing for. Well, it's quite exciting in that League One Ontario is going to be moving to a two-division format with both with promotion and relegation between the two tiers. So the current 21 team league will move to a top division of 12 teams and a bottom division, therefore, of 11. That's 9. Apologies, 12 and 9. And the second question there, of course, is how on earth do we define who is top and who is bottom in terms of these divisions? Well, League One Ontario have come up with a plan where it is an accumulation of points over the 2 seasons, this season and last season, that defines where you end up in terms of these divisions. So points from last season count for 75% of their value, so 0.75, which is how we're going to end up with some slightly screwy numbers. We'll get to that in just a second. And points from this season are a full point, so the full weight of the point value will come this season. So as of June 13th, Hamilton United and Burlington were both tied for that final spot on 32.25 points apiece. So you can see that there is something in this game for Hamilton and something in the rest of this season. And similarly, actually, for Windsor City, there are 2 places, several points. I mean, it's roughly 9 points or 8.75 points, I suppose, if we're going to be particularly picky about it. But with 12 games left in the season, there's plenty of opportunities to pick points up for Windsor in order to get themselves above that line next season. Now, of course, to be eligible to be in the championship playoffs, you will indeed need to be in that top division. So it's an important goal for these teams to chase. And it doesn't mean, of course, every single point matters. Every game matters. There are no dead rubbers left in the season. Not really. We've had a substitution for Hamilton during the drink break. They kind of snuck that one through on us, and it looked like Jacob Gaya has been replaced. Oh, and just off the post, my word! The advancing Windsor. We've had a collision at the top of the box. The ball across from Agapito was a good one, but there was they came to blows. Agapito actually arguing the case that maybe a penalty should have been awarded there to referee Hulastani, but the officiant unmoved. And it looks like perhaps it was a Ferry who had took the shot, and in doing so, collided with the Hamilton defender who has stayed down. The ball spinning free from that particular contretemps and bouncing off the post. And remains tied. The scores remain tied, but a real flashpoint there then shows that Windsor are still going. So plenty to recap there. It does look like that number 16, Jacob Gaya, has been replaced by number 6, Mashoud Rehman. in the we'll put it down for the 27th minute. I think that will work. And Windsor striking the post and arguing their case that a penalty should have been awarded. Now, I will confess, it all happened in a flash, so I will have to maintain neutrality on this particular decision and side with the officiating staff. But again, more fuel to the Windsor fire, I suppose, in that they have been the ones who have really been taking this game by the scruff of the neck thus far. As it is indeed Tyler Curtis who is the recipient of Gianni Ferri's, or bore the brunt rather of Gianni Ferri's on-rushing attempt to score that goal. And it looks actually like Tyler Curtis, as a result of that, will actually be substituted and replaced by Dimitrios Nikolaidis. So two new players introduced for Hamilton within the last couple of minutes, Rehman and Nikolaidis. Tyler Curtis being replaced here, that does actually kind of solve the problem, so such as it is that he was carrying a yellow card previously. So there you go. And was Stefanovic just missing out on that one from Parker, and Ajibade able to move that one up for Numa, but an incident-packed few minutes there, stemming from the water breakers. Numa turns nicely inside Clemmings, who isn't giving up on that, but finds Aluya. Rehman with his first touches, looking to get away from Aguilera. Finds Salah. This one lofted over the top, but not really on the same page as his forward players. And then Nikolaidis with his first involvement too. Numa finds Aluya. They'll keep hold of the ball on that side here. Caceres just muscled out with too many players on his side. And then, well, Ferry maybe didn't get his head up, looked to play for Sato, but the pass was really closed off by the fullback there. So that maybe wasn't a great decision on his behalf. Amanov plays that one for Aguilera. Maybe play him into a bit of trouble, but the captain able to calmly move that ball out of danger. Hamilton seemed to be a little bit more on the front foot here now. The previous line of engagement was much lower, but that one there for Ferry to chase, and Salah there to make sure that one goes out harmlessly. Hamilton exhibiting a wee bit of patience here, just trying to move Windsor around a little bit as they stroke the ball between the two centre-backs. Kagal's clearly deciding he'd had enough of that and was looking long for Numa, but not able to get the better of Clemmings, and now Windsor will come the other way. Aguilera spreading that one out for Sato. Amanov is sprinting down this far side, and Ferry perhaps wanted Amanov to continue his run down that line so he could play him in, but the fullback had cut inside. Neluya just about able to beat Antoniuk to that one. Neluya wants that down the line. Wanted that a little bit quicker from Parker. Gotten to the wrong side of Clemmings. Neluya doing very well to bring that one down all the same. And Clemmings giving up a free kick. Slightly disappointed in the call. But it looked to be a fair one. Sarah's trying to get away from Sato. And he couldn't, but the referee deciding that it was Sato had impeded him illegally. Oh, and a loose ball from Numa is pounced upon by Sato. Ferry is darting down the middle in between the two centre-backs, but Numa able to cover that ground, cover for his own mistake there, as the pass was too flat, too square. Didn't have enough zip on it to get out to the fullback, and Sato had read that a couple of plays in advance. Looked to turn it back the other way. Aguilera shaping up to shoot from a full 30 plus yards out. Kagash down neatly to his left to take the ball. It looked like it was going to find its way wide, but good for the keeper to be alert nonetheless. Keep himself in the game. Djokovic trying to find a route through. And actually, that was a good one as the Hamilton backline had gotten a little bit staggered. Hadn't really kept their shape. The fullback, Dagelman, had stepped out a wee bit ahead of his centre-backs, but beautifully read there by Dagelman to cut across. And Numa able to play in Parker, who has Rehman ahead of him. Bocci will chase this one down ahead of Aguilera. The Hamilton FC man just about able to muscle out his midfielder counterpart. And Faccieri does really well to get to that one and actually win a free kick too. He won the ball. It looked like the referee Khulestani was looking to allow advantage to play. Hold it back though to the high foot from Aluya on Faccieri. And that one just lofted over for Ferry to chase, but will make its way all the way through to Kagal. His clearance is fielded by Bocci, but then that ball for Faccieri is... Oh, and Antonio with the shot! And that is a beautifully shaped shot. A wonderful attempt. Faccieri with that sharp ball forward for Ferry to bring in and lay off for Antonio. We talked about this before, about how good the Windsor number 9 was at holding that ball off and being able to lay it into the path of the onrushing advanced central midfielders for Windsor. And we just saw a pitch-perfect example of such a play there, with Antonio choosing to strike that one first time, shaping it really nicely. It did look like it would have ended up quite central. Perhaps Kagalj would have been able to take care of it, but glancing off the top of the bar, and a scare nonetheless for Hamilton. And further proof, if anyone needed, that Windsor are indeed leading this game at the minute. They just need to get this goal in order to make their current dominance count. That one lofted forward for Ferry to chase. And Sato looking to flick that one on for Ferry, who's looking to play it back into the path of the winger, but this one cleared out only as far as Clemmings. Facineri has Stefanovic down on this near side. Oh, and that's really nicely done. Agapito. Not this time. Shaping that one on the left foot. That was always going to be moving away. But Antoniuk had done well to continue his inside to outside run, hold the markers and create the space for Agapito to work his way into. And Stefanovic was patient enough, again, to draw players towards him and feed in his midfielder with a good deal of time on an opportunity to turn and shape the shot. As mentioned, on the left foot, it's always going to be bending away from that far post, but again, better work from Windsor here. Dukalic does have Amonov. Amonov and Caceres battling away there. The referee decides there was nothing to really talk about there. Keeps this one moving. Caceres plays it forward for Rehman. Newman now wants to run at Dukalic, but his touch a little bit loose. The defender patient enough to be able to step in when necessary and take that one away. And now Facineri able to just kind of gamble his way forwards. A tricky one from Aguilera, and really perhaps Hamilton should have been a bit more alive to that and pressed on that one a little bit as Facineri was waiting for that one to come down, but they were a bit passive in the opposition third, and so Windsor now able to build the other way. Stefanovic is the option on this near side. That one from Antoniuk is just about reached by the youngster, but met by Nicolaitis at this near post and hashed clear. Dukalic will look for Antoniuk. You can see how compressed Windsor are able to make the field. That was their centre back in an attacking position, able to put a ball across, and that's really an indictment, perhaps, of how aggressive Hamilton are without the ball. They're touch passive, allowing Windsor to play and allowing Windsor to build. So we've seen Windsor kind of work their way towards the Hamilton goal in a couple of different routes. They are happy to go direct down the channels and down the wings, or into the feet of Ferry, who will play it off. But they can also build nicely as well. Again, kind of capitalizing on Hamilton maybe giving them a bit too much space, certainly to build from the back. We've seen Facineri and Dukalic given all the time in the world to play these long balls in. The Sato and Ferry combined, but Degelman and Saleh between them smuggle that one out for a goal kick. Head coach Walter Casenza, I'm not sure if you were able to see him on the broadcast, but screaming at his team to keep that line high, deny Hamilton the opportunity to play these goal kicks out short. Zucker launches this one long. Aguilera does well to drop off into the space and meet that one. But the ball forward from Antoniuk is a little bit loose as we round into the 43rd minute. We'll keep an eye out for it if there's going to be any extra time added here. But the games we played are pretty good clip. We have a couple of minutes for the water break and the injury and subsequent substitution of Tyler Curtis, but we'll see how we got on. Numa wants to turn inside. Has Caceres if he wanted that direct kind of diagonal ball across, but plays it back for Bocci, who finds Rehman. Parker is overlapping on this near side. That one makes its way across, but cut out by Dukalic. Only as far as Numa. Tussles and battles with Aguilera, who's as usual, as he has done all half, comes out on top. Agapito wanted to play that one through for Ferry, but Ferry had gone too quickly. Stevanovic was aware that the play was still live, but Kagalj out well to bring that one down. Now Rehman, what could he do coming the other way? Was looking for Caceres, but the ball was not too accurate, and Sato able to cut it out. And Windsor again able to settle things down. Antoniuk will keep that one moving. Stevanovic squaring up against Parker. That's a lovely little ball inside for Antoniuk, but Kagalj out well. Had a better eye on it than his defenders did, but it's a good run from Antoniuk to give Stevanovic the opportunity and the idea to play that pass there. So we've seen a couple of routes of ingress here for Windsor on these corners. We've seen a short one played, and then we've seen one lofted, and so here we are. Now they're just kind of crowding the 6-yard box rather than amassing on the edge of the areas they've done previously. So they've clearly got a few routines. This one looking to presumably kind of swing that one in and pin the goalkeeper on his line, but Antoniuk just getting that one a little bit wrong. Curling it out and in a little bit too quickly now. How can Hamilton build as we are granted an extra 3 minutes in this first half? Parker lost that one down for the channel for Luya to chase, but it just drifts out of play. So as mentioned, we've seen Windsor work their way forward towards the goal in a few different ways. Equally effective either whichever decision they choose to make. Hamilton is a little bit less clear, and that's not necessarily because they don't have a plan, but it's certainly because they've been on the receiving end of some of this possession in this first half more than anything else. With the 4-2-3-1 shape, particularly with Numa, we know the number 7 on this near side, certainly looking to tuck inside more. You maybe need a bit more thrust from your fullbacks, but we've seen that it would appear that they are wary of leaving too much space for the wide Windsor City players to run into. So I could kind of explain Dagelman and Parker starting a bit flat and maybe not kind of starting as high up the line as they maybe would ordinarily. And that loose pass by Ajibade, seemingly innocuous, but an opportunity for Windsor to kind of really bring the lineup, and Kagalj and Saleh between them conspiring to get themselves into even more trouble as Agapito is tenacious with his press, and Windsor now almost able to and that actually breaks now to Agapito, cuts inside Saleh, pulls that one back for Ferry, who finishes that one with a plum, and so this all came from a loose pass from Ajibade that triggered the press from Windsor, Ajibade was looking for Saleh, his centre back, and Windsor latched upon that opportunity to bring their line of engagement further up the field and really start hassling them. And then Kagalj and Saleh maybe making a string of poor decisions, allowing this thing to get even worse. So the teamwork, the team press from Windsor was what started the goal, but really excellent work from Agapito to receive the ball in a dangerous position, get himself to the byline, and have the wherewithal to cut that one back for Ferry, who'd done well to find a wee pocket of space in the penalty area, and Ferry did not make any kind of mistake with his finish. So Windsor 1 goal to the good as this first half draws to a close, and you have to say that's just reward for the work that they've put in so far in this first 45 minutes. And we'll see how this sort of changes things. And actually, Numa now, maybe hoping to strike back quickly. Dagelman with an opportunity to loft this one across. Finds Numa, who is met by Carraro. Numa is still down. Parker continues playing. And that one out for a corner. And actually, the half time is called by referee Hulestani, but Ajibade now remonstrating with the official as this first half draws to a close. And perhaps both teams feeling somewhat aggrieved at them, feeling maybe that they could have had a penalty in that first 45 minutes. Windsor City, however, the only ones with a goal. 1-0 to the good, scored by their number 9, Gianni Ferri, in the 46th, 47th minute, certainly in extra time at the end of that first half. Yeah, we've got a real game brewing here, folks, so please don't go anywhere. We've got a quick halftime break. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the second half of our live League One Ontario Men's Premier Division Game of the Week. We've got Hamilton FC hosting Windsor City, and Windsor, after that first 45 minutes, have found themselves 1-0 in the lead. A late goal from Gianni Ferri, as they were able to capitalize on some kind of loose play, I suppose, at the back there from Hamilton. And we've seen a substitution at half where Alman Bocci has been replaced by Mujtaba Amin. So maybe we'll see if this kind of engenders a slight change of shape or a change of attitude from Hamilton in terms of how they're going to try and control this game a little bit, get themselves back in here, and making an immediate impact there by charging down that attempted clearance. And we'll see if they're now able to get some help around Iluya, the forward, give him some support, mount some forward momentum of their own. See, Antoniuk, who was busy all in that first half. Ferry has definitely strayed offside, so this one should be waved down. Did well with the finish, to be fair to him, but the whistle had gone. So you can see immediate intent there. Antoniuk able to carry that ball a long way, right into the danger area, right into the heart of the Hamilton defense. And so with that change of personnel, we'll see how this changes things for Hamilton. I want actually maybe just about getting over that line from Salah's clearance. Amanov looking for Sato. Back to the fullback. And seeing a little bit more jump in the press in the middle of the field from Hamilton thus far, but Clemming's able to advance down that far side. Quite a good 30, 40 yards with the ball at his feet. Oh, lovely work from Agapito to get away from Rehman. Plays that one over for Sato. How is that? That is not a good cross, though, from the Windsor City wide man. Wasting the good work of Agapito to find him there with all of that space. Antoniuk didn't really have anywhere to go. Keeps it moving, and they find their way back there again through Aguilera over to Amanov. Facineri now strides forth. Finds Antoniuk. Stevanovic is the option on that far side. It's taken. Stevanovic able to keep that ball moving between three Hamilton FC players. Not quite able to get it away from him, but he does win a corner. Antoniuk is on the ground protesting there, demanding a free kick, but wins a yellow card for his protestations instead. So a yellow card for the Windsor number 11. Early on in this first half. Completely unnecessary one, it has to be said. Really, the referee had waved the play on. They had a corner And Antoniuk instead was intent on arguing the point. And as a reward, had his name taken. This one flipped across, but met well by Nikolaidis. Clearance only as far as Clemmings. Facineri is now playing as a winger, an auxiliary winger. Actually, beautifully around, and a great ball across. For a centre-back, that's not bad going to get around his man like that and fire across a really dangerous ball. Was looking perhaps for Antoniuk, who was making the run at that far post, but just eluding his teammate. Some work, though, by Gianni Facineri there. Salah keeps this one moving for Degelman. That one looking along for Aluya. Left by Dukalic, but finding Carraro. And so this is definitely a higher line of engagement from Hamilton there. Definitely on the front foot a little more this half, looking to unsettle Carraro. And his kicking under the pressure is not the most accurate there. So Rehman, is he able to turn? Didn't get the call that Aguilera perhaps was just over his shoulder. Picks his pocket. And his attempted flick inside is a little loose. Casera is able to get onto it. He has Rehman on this far side if he wanted it. Instead looked to tuck that one under for the run of Numa, but maybe put a little bit too much on it. Nikolaidis finding Amin. But Fleming's doing well, not stymieing that forward motion, but and again coming right back the other way. Rehman getting it over for Caceres. Degelman is busting along to get into that overlap. Now Aluya and Caceres playing beautifully between them. Well, that's a terrific save from Dylan Carraro down. Dante Carraro down sharply to his left. But the work there from Aluya and Caceres really slicing through this Windsor defense, fashioning that opportunity for Caceres to take the shot. So, we've seen already what having some players around Aluya can do. Some grey shirts. If he has the support, he can feed them in. It was a good effort and a better save. Giving up only a corner. Just floated across, flicked away by Aguilera. And then cleared further by Amonov. Agapito is going to battle for this with Degelman. And that one adjudged to have crossed the line. And Amonov wants to get this one moving quickly, but doesn't have any options. Flips down the line for Agapito to chase, and Nikolaidis was maybe a little bit over the top in his attentions. And that's an attempt by Ferry. This is off the post again. Both posts. Now Sato, and that one turned in by Antoniuk, who left onside, had done very well to make sure of his space and to extend the lead 2-0 and leave the Hamilton FC defense looking over at the linesman, looking over at the assistant referee in hope and despair as they did not see the flag raise. Agapito did terrifically to get around a charging Nikolaidis who overcommitted on the ball through the clip ball down the line. He was then able to turn and run at the heart of the Hamilton defense, sowing chaos within the ranks. His ball through for Ferry, who charged right down the middle, was a good one. Now you have to give Kagals credit there for knocking off the forward momentum of the Hamilton United forward, but the Windsor City, forward. But Ferry hit the post once. It came back to him. He hit the post again. The ball found its way out to number 7, Dylan Sato. And then his shot would actually have been going wide from this angle, but Antoniuk was there in attendance, able to just turn that one in, had the simple task of turning it in from just a couple of yards out. And again, full marks to Antoniuk for staying on side. Parker, baby, is the culprit, had dropped far too deep, or dropped to the line in an attempt to keep that one, to add an extra layer of security. But in the end, spelled his own doom. And so Windsor now 2 goals to the good. As Hamilton looked to strike back immediately, Rehman can't get a shot away, doesn't really open up for him. And you see this is really lighting a fire underneath Hamilton as they come back the other way. Rehman charging his way through these challenges. And that ball spinning, staying alive, just making its way out for a throw in. Now we'll see whether Hamilton just want to launch this one into the penalty area, or are they going to play this one back down the line for Saleh? Play it in for Amin. Does well to take that one away from Amanov. Keep it going. And wins a corner for his troubles. A free kick rather than a corner. Apologies, I was correct first time. A corner there for Caceres now to shape this one in. Well, Hamilton breaking, providing options. Eluya, what? Ajibade had the bit actually drawn off the back of everybody. Looked to head that one back across, but defended stoutly by the Windsor defense. I mean, has the short option really quickly if he wants it, but actually he's waved off there. Caceres is the one to come over to take this one now. Coming from the shaded portion of the pitch into the light. We'll see if this causes issues for the goalkeeper. Well, Nicolaitis was there well, but Carraro flapping at that one a touch, but the referee deeming he was under an illegal amount of pressure and giving him a free kick. And despite winning the free kick, the referee, the goalkeeper, still continuing to remonstrate with the referee. Maybe he wanted the call slightly earlier. I'm not sure how that would have occurred. Rehman has Caceres. Caceres with up against 2, but bundles his way through. Dukalic was on hand to make sure that didn't develop into anything too dangerous. Najibade now wanting to take the shot on. Hamilton much more aggressive in this half. And now we'll see whether they get caught on this transition as Agabato comes away, has Sato on this near side if he wants to go that route, but pulls it back for Aguilera. Amanov fires that one into the feet of Ferry. Can't get away from Dagelman. Rehman into Eluya. Eluya having to work really hard, but now able to just drive at the defense. And instead, it's a really good challenge for Facineri, but only finds Numa. I mean, takes that shot on, looking for that low corner on that left-hand side, but not this time for Hamilton. Yeah, definitely looking much more lively this half, Hamilton United. Fair to say, perhaps there were a few words exchanged in the dressing room at halftime from the head coach and the 11 on the field. But despite that good start to the half, it is Windsor who have scored another goal, extended their lead, 2-0 now. Raymond looking for Numa, launches that one over. Numa brings it in quite nicely with a good touch up against Clemmings. Oh, does brilliantly to get around him, and now Iluya really should be finishing, putting that one away. Finds Caceres, who launches that, lobs that one over again. And Hamilton just guilty perhaps of not having that killer instinct there, but Ajibade does terrifically to make sure that they don't get caught in the transition with that challenge. But terrific work by Numa on the far side to craft that one, and Iluya, when granted the clearest look at goal that he's had all game, not able to get a clean connection on the shot, and I'm sure they'll be ruining that one. That would have been a great opportunity back into the game for Hamilton, and certainly, one that they maybe would have deserved. Hamilton get this one moving quickly now. Caceres has Dagelman on the overlap. Raymond finds him this time. Comes back for Saleh. Parker into Iluya. But the touch loose this time around. Stefanovic. Ooh, that's a beautiful work from Ferry to turn that one around the corner. And then Parker, though, sticks to his task well. Doesn't let Agapito in. As we have a change on the Windsor side of things. It's going to see Gianni Ferri, the goal scorer late in that first half. He is going to be replaced by Jose Pabon. A 62nd minute. When Pabon immediately involved as that corner sort of floated everywhere, and he found himself in a little pocket of space right in the heart of the penalty area. Perhaps kind of finding him a little bit too early with the corner and sort of screwing his header wide. I should be disappointed. I'm sure he would have loved his first touch of the game to be a goal, but instead it'll have to be maybe his second or third. Salah just popping that one long, and the ball rolling all the way through for Carraro. Smart switch of play there, and Facineri able to get that one down the line. Stefanovic to chase, but whistled offside. Stefanovic actually freshly back from a Bundesliga showcase over in Europe, so you can see him. We have seen over the course of this game. There's certainly some raw talent there. This one sent long again, but Aguilera, as he has been all game, is positioning impeccable, cutting out those long balls. And this one, beautifully finding Pabon. The Hamilton defense scrambling to cover quickly, getting back well, but Pavon holding that one up nicely. Finds Sato. Here's Aguilera. Antonio didn't really have a route to goal, but Aguilera finding Clemmings. Now Stefanovic. Antonio maybe had the run of Pavon, who was trying to get inside his, trying to split the centre backs, and he looks like he's game to do that at any point. So we'll see if the ball players for Windsor can work that one out. Amanov now going all the way back to the goalkeeper. Windsor doing well, staying patient. There's no reason for them, of course, to rush anything or try and force anything with a 2-goal lead in the 65th minute of the game. There's no reason for them to be silly. But that's actually a lovely ball over Pavon to Jace. Cancela get there. The defender allowing that one to run. Kagala's doing very well actually to kind of step out and meet that one. Just a wee bit too much pace on the ball this time around. Numa. Lovely work to get around Clemmings. Facineri had done well to stand strong, but Numa kept going and took the shot on. I think it was the right decision in the end, as the square passes for Iluia and Caceres looked to have been blocked off. Good positioning from the Windsor defense. They struck it well. Beaten away by Kararu, who's had to make a couple of very good saves in this half. As Caceres plays that one in low, looking for Iluia, but Parker floats that one into a position for Caceres to chase, but Amonov happy to just watch it bounce harmlessly clear. Diego, man, doing beautifully to get around Amonov. Iluia looking to bring that one in, but a tricky ball for him to control. Stuck to the task, but we're certainly seeing a great deal more intent from Hamilton. I've mentioned it 2 or 3 times already. This half really is night and day from the way they were playing in that first half. Facineri up for Pavon. Plays that one inside for Antoniuk. Finds Stefanovic. Again inside for Pavon. The ball for Antoniuk was a bit sharp. He did beautifully to bring it in. Pavon now looking to tiptoe his way through, but the Hamilton defense kind of closing ranks. And then maybe Numa a bit aggressive in his attentions towards Antoniuk. So let's see if Windsor can launch anything from this opportunity. Oh, and that one actually glancing off the head of Nicolaitis. Looking dangerous for a second there, but they got away with it. Gave up only a corner this time around. As the players work themselves out, I'm going to use this opportunity to thank our sponsors again this half. The evening's broadcast is brought to you by CIBC, a proud partner of League One, by Gatorade, Rehydrate, Replenish, and Refuel. Degree, inspiring the confidence to move, and then Macron, work hard, play harder. And we'll see this ball delivered into the box for Windsor City. A tussle at the top of the box from Facineri and Ajibade, but referee Hulastani deciding that actually Facineri was responsible and the aggressor in this instance. So the free kick going the other way. Salah, who we've seen all game, is very keen to play these long balls, but this time deciding that keeping hold of it is the better course of action. And Numa doing well, drawing a free kick there. Dagelmoon was trying to find a route forward here, but we're going to have a quick little water break here in the 70th minute. So with 20 minutes left in the game, a quick recap of where we are. Windsor City FC have found themselves 2 goals to the good. One late in her first half from Gianni Ferri, one early in the second half from Owen Antoniuk. Hamilton, as much clearly chasing the game, but certainly in the second half thus far, showing far more enterprise, a lot more aggression, really in the game a lot more than they were in the first. So we'll see how that develops as we continue on. I'm going to use this opportunity, this small break and play, to remind you, of course, of the best way to kind of be involved and interact, so to speak, with League One Ontario is through the Twitter feeds. That's L1O men's, L1O women's, depending on which league you want to talk about. One thing that we do for every game of the week is have a Twitter poll, so you can talk amongst yourselves and decide who you think is going to win. So for the poll for this game, we've got 19% for a tie, 38% for a Windsor City win, and 43% for a Hamilton United win. So that's 43% currently staring down the barrel of an incorrect decision made on Twitter. Certainly something that's never come back to haunt anybody, I'm sure. But yes, I urge you all to follow League One Ontario on all of the various social media channels. I'm sure you know them by now: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, so on and so forth. Obviously, you found the YouTube channel, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this. And so let's see how this game develops the last 20 minutes or so. With Hamilton pushing to get themselves back into it. As we talked about, Hamilton were in a worse position in the league this year coming into this game, but a better position in the combined leagues for the league split next season. But we'll see if there's 3 points from Windsor if they're able to hold on to this lead, of course. Oh, and lovely work from Dagon to get away from 2 and feed that ball back inside for Rayman, who needs to move this ball a little bit quicker than he has. Windsor able to regain their shape. And Rayman maybe guilty of holding on to that for a little bit too long, but finds Numa with a lovely crossfield ball. Numa, we've seen, is capable of taking players on, but pulls this one back for Parker. Oh, Salah with a very sloppy pass, cut out easily by Sato. Oh, nicely found for Stefanovic. Antoniuk with time to turn, face the defense. We'll try to flip that one over for the on-rushing Stefanovic, but the ball cut out. Parker, though, with having to deal with the attentions of Pavon. Numa inside for Rajabade. That pass was maybe asking a little bit too much Ball stayed aside, so it's come back to Ajibade actually with a little bit of a fortuitous bounce. That's a nice ball from Raymond for Caceres. Gets into the box. Ajibade has some options, cuts inside, looks to shape the shot, but not a great effort in the end. Actually had several options ahead of him. I mean, Iluya, Numa, really, any of those would have been okay options. Even actually, to be fair to him, taking the shot on, he kind of manufactured that opportunity for himself well. He made the space with the little step inside, but in the end, the shot a touch scruffy, sailing wide. Mustafanovic just is given the invitation to drive into a seam in the Hamilton United defense and does not turn that one down. As Windsor do a really good job on that far side of just keeping hold of this ball. Ooh, and neatly slipped in for Antoniuk. He's got the other side of Ajibade, but Ajibade stands strong, sticks to a task. Doesn't let him through. Now Dagelman providing the overlap for Caceres. Caceres is still the option back. Dagelman has kept his spot there. Ooh, neatly flicked over for Iluya. Now he's going to battle up against Dirkulic. Oh, very nice touch there, but Aguilera, as ever, is on hand to close the door, plug the gaps, cover the space. That's actually a really good ball out from Amonov to find Pavon. And Pavon taking the opportunity to calm, settle things down, induce a little tranquility into the Windsor City team. So we're backpedaling a touch there. It does look as if we have an impending substitution for Hamilton. We'll confirm that when it happens, but it looks like we'll see the introduction of Musa Limane, but and that is indeed how it goes. Limane introduced in favor of Abbas Ajibade in the 78th minute. Well, lovely ball across, but just kind of away from everyone now. Aguilera looks to just release Agapito, which he has done. Dagelman, though, keep matching him stride for stride, so Agapito playing that one back in for Aguilera. I think we may have seen a Windsor substitution at some point there too. As it looks like, Dylan Sato has been replaced by Kalen Lobel. And Mashoud Rehman also earns himself a yellow card there for the challenge there on Aguilera. So yeah, the replacement of Sato has certainly seen a slight shift just in role for the number 10 there, Agapato, who's kind of brought out on this near side. Going to be playing a little bit more as a dedicated winger now, I suppose, rather than the kind of inside play. So I suppose with the introduction of Liman, actually, it looks like Hamilton have gone to maybe a 2-player up front kind of system, with Limane now as joining Iluya as the spearhead of that attack. So it looks like they've gone to something akin to a 4-4-2 or perhaps 4-2-4, depending on the work of Caceres and Yuma. We've seen they're already preferred to be attacking players, so now Caceres certainly getting a touch physical with Lobel there. And another substitution now for Hamilton. It's Caceres, that is his final contribution to the game, is conceding that free kick. And he is replaced by Ali Yildiz. Now Amanov is chasing down Degelman. Degelman didn't really deal with it. Amanov does well. Get around the other side. He's in a dangerous spot. Now Pavon can't really sort his feet out, but able to turn. The shot blocked in the end by Saler, and then Lobel with the follow-up attempt, just kind of like looping that one over. Pavon maybe could have been better served, continuing the trajectory of the ball into the feet of Antonio, who was kind of behind him and pleading with him to keep that one moving, but chose instead to turn back inside, take the shot. Not a bad idea. He was able to get the shot away, but Salah was able to block it on the line, and Salah were able to just hook that one clear. So as this game enters the last 10 minutes or so, where are we? What kind of shape are we in? Windsor still 2 goals in the lead. But Hamilton setting themselves up much more aggressively to chase this game. We've seen a change of shape from them, perhaps, where they're going to be playing with two players up front with the introduction of Limane. Seems that way anyway. But we've also seen Windsor more than capable of causing trouble coming the other way. And of course, Facineri, who's been solid all game. Between he and Aguilera, they've really done terrifically to kind of like keep ahead of the game and keep reading that game really nicely. And plug any kind of gaps or holes that develop in the defensive dam of Windsor City. Pavon sort of kind of ran out of options there. Or Numa just skipping and dancing aside, finds Iluya. Surely this is going to be a finish. And Facineri, who I had just been singing the praises of, turns out I gave him the curse of the commentator. Well, Iluya did terrifically to cut back inside him. The play from Elton Numa was really what kind of caused the chaos. He just sort of like skipped his way through, and actually Aguilera has earned himself a yellow card for protestations. I think there was some annoyance on behalf of Windsor City that the challenge on Amanov from Reman wasn't punished, but it was in the end, I suppose, considered a fair challenge by the referee. And so the play was allowed to continue. Elton Numa picked it up and just sort of skipped his way past several challenges and fed Iluya with a lovely ball. And Iluya choosing to cut back inside and shape it on his left instead of taking it with his right. And in doing so, wrong-footed Facineri who left a leg dangling. And, well, when you do that in the penalty box, you're sort of asking for that problem. So, Jamu Aluya, the captain for Hamilton United, stood over this as Andriy Amanov continues to receive treatment. But we'll see what this does to the game. Again, there's only a time ticking down. But is this going to grant Hamilton a lifeline back into this? Amanov thankfully able to leave the field under his own power, which is always good to see. He'll likely have to just run that one off. It doesn't look as if Windsor City are preparing any sort of replacement for him at present. So here we are. Aluya. Oh, and that is a very cool, very calm penalty. Sends Dante Carraro completely the wrong way, strokes it into the bottom right corner. Excellent work from Jamu Aluya. And that has, as mentioned, granted Hamilton a way back into this game. But I tell you what, Windsor right back the other way with Agapito looking to slide that one past Kagalis, but a terrific save. Really good, aggressive goalkeeping. He was out quickly to take away the angle. But Windsor still with that capacity to play these balls over the back line and pick holes through this defense with willing runners ahead of them at all times. Aluya, oh, that's terrifically taken down, continuing to fight with Djurkovic, winning a throw-in deep in Windsor territory. So there were the tension in this game now, as it looked to be coasting towards a finish, ratcheting back up with that penalty goal, with the finish from Aluya, which, again, nothing but plaudits for the way he was able to finish that one, stroke it home so coolly. Degerman throwing this one into the box, causing chaos. Musa Limane now able to, I guess that will technically count as a shot on target, but no real venom on it. Oh, and Aguilera just always able to get this one free. Pavon allowed to play, a terrific shot from Stevanovic, stinging the palms of Ethan Kagals in the net there, but it did look as if a couple of those players had drifted offside, but the assistant referee had deemed them okay, let them play on. Stevanovic was not one to turn down that opportunity. Looked to fire that one high at the near post. Similar, of course, as I'm sure you're all aware, to the finish that Alphonso Davies scored against Panama just the other day, if we're talking about the technique and the abilities that we're talking about, that they were dealing with. Oh, and then they worked that one short nicely to craft a better angle to cross that one in, but not a great ball in the end. So, Hamilton now, no time to waste from them. They're going to need to get this ball forward in a safe and secure fashion. Oh, and Numa doing brilliantly to get around Amanov, but Amanov not giving up on it. Also, excellent work from the fullback to claim that one back. Limane able to settle that one down. Continues his run in a very dangerous position, but didn't really have any options. His attacking counterparts were maybe a little slow and weren't kind of crashing that box as sharply as he wanted. And the cutback really found the feet of Aguilera. As Stevanovic now able to just continue his run at the other end. Had all the time in the world to pick his spot, and it again was looking for this for the sneaky finish at the near post, but just pulled it a little bit wide of the left-hand post. And so opportunities at either end for these two teams as this game kind of reaches a crescendo with a slightly frantic finish. We are into extra time. We finished the 90 minutes of the regularly allotted time. And so we are into extra time, and there are already going to be 6 minutes of extra time. So, still plenty of time left in this game for Hamilton to get control of this and get themselves back into it. Also, plenty of time, of course, for Windsor to punish them by taking care of them in transition. The referee in attendance deciding there was nothing really there. But that one not coming to anything in the end. Parker looking for his options and trying to find Lamane, but you have to say, even if he found the player, there wasn't really any other grey shirts around him. Daleman floats that one across for Lamane. Clemmings out jumps him, but only finds Yildiz, who takes the shot on. And that one was always rising and sent over the bar. The grateful Dante Carraro happy to watch that one just wheel its way into the end zone. Oh, and Salah actually beating his own man to it, but getting away with it. The ball finding its way only through to Kagalj, who gets us moving with Nikolaitis. Yildiz cuts back inside. Just looks at the big switch over for Elton Numa, but Amonov is under it. Only finds Amin, though. And Amin now with a great ball forward for Yildiz. But he didn't really seem to have his mind made up as to what he wanted to do with it, so cut back into the path of the fullback. Now Rehman will win that corner, happy to take that. And let's just see how much Hamilton stacked the box here. Their previous corner taker, Caceres, has actually left the field, so they're just going to stuff everybody in there. The goalkeeper staying back for now. Everybody else in the box, one player not in the box, everything else in. Carraro able to just punch that one away, keep it moving. It will go out for another corner. It's good work, though, from the Windsor City goalkeeper. He was first to it, stayed strong, but there's flight in the air. I mean, now loft this one over. Carraro not quite getting to this one, but Facineri on hand. Oh, and Facineri again able to take that away from Limane, who is shaping up to just put his laces through it. So it's good work from the Windsor City centre-back rather, twice in short order to take away opportunities from that corner. As we just have a couple of minutes left in this one. Gagalsh has Dagelman. And Dagelman now they are just stuffing balls into, and Salah is able to get to it, and that's great work from Carraro to backtrack it. Look, Salah, the centre back, had stayed up, and the ball in from Dagelman floated its way over. Salah was able to get his head to it. The centre back had stayed in the centre forward position, and His header looked like it was going to be looping over and finding the back, like the far post from him, but full marks to Dante Carrara for sticking with that, backpedaling, moving his feet well, and able to leap and just turn that one around the post. And in all of that, Windsor City are going to have a substitute right here at the end with Jose Pabon, who'd been introduced earlier in the game, actually had gone down with an injury. And he's set to be replaced as he very slowly makes his way off the field. And this one again finds its way over. Nikolaitis keeps this one alive. Dagelman is there challenging for it, but Windsor just about hack it clear, but only for a throw in their own end. And so Pavon replaced by Quiroga, number 17, just as a brief piece of admin, but really not the important factor right now. I mean, quickly in, Numa looking to get around Almanov, but I think the Windsor City fullback standing strong there, denying Numa the easy space in. And that may well be the end of the final act here of the Hamilton United attack. Damn, flicking that one on for Quiroga to chase. Who does brilliantly and just, I'm sure will want to just keep it in that corner. Ends up winning a throw-in. And this surely must be the opportunity for Windsor to just wind this one down. Keep both hands on this. 3 points. These incredibly... That was a free kick, actually. Apologies. And Agapito and Antonio. We've already seen how tricky the two of them are anyway. And that one is given as a Hamilton throw. Diggleman urged to just get this one up the field and get this one going, but Numa only able to give up a throw in the other way. And you can hear the Windsor City bench demanding answers from the referee about the time as we wind our way towards the 99th minute. Saleh will thunder that one clear, and that will be it. That will be all. A tense, physical finish to the game. But in the end, following Jamu Aluya's penalty in the 86th minute, his converted penalty, one that he had won himself. But in the end, the two earlier goals from Gianni Ferri and Owen Antonio for Windsor City, claiming all 3 points for the team in the far southwest of Ontario. So they'll be taking 3 points back with them on that long journey back to Windsor. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. We've seen a real interesting game of football, a real competitive one. It was a pleasure and a privilege. So on behalf of myself and everybody here, I want to say thank you. Keep an eye on the League One YouTube channel for the next game of the week, because I'm sure we'll see you there. Thank you and good evening.